Organizers have questionnaires, and questionnaires are important because they can alert you to things that are important for the return, right? Like, did the person make contributions to the retirement account, and things that you would want to double check for. But with paper organizers, very few taxpayers actually fill it out. I mean, I'm told that once again the adoption rate is in the single digits in terms of how many taxpayers actually fill out questionnaires. And we'll share some stats with you later in this webinar regarding the experience we had with TaxCaddy. But for clients that created, for taxpayers that created a TaxCaddy account and were sent a questionnaire, about 2/3 completed them, which is a huge percentage. And the reason why is because, first of all, it's mobile. It's like you see in this graphic. You can pull it up on your mobile phone. It's very simple. One question per screen. You tap yes, tap no, or NA. You slide to the next screen. And because it's mobile, you can do it in dead time. You can do it while you are in a waiting room or at an airport or even just sitting on your couch. You don't have to sit down with a 40-page organizer and start to work on it at your desk or go to your PC in your office and do it on the online organizer. It's much more casual, much more convenient, and as I mentioned, you can do it in dead time, and that results in much better adoption, a much higher probability that a client actually does it. Even though only perhaps 10 to 15% of taxpayers fill out an organizer in terms of like write numbers in. And by the way, even when they do write it in, does it really make your job easier? I mean, filling in numbers and filling them in correctly and completely are two different things, and we see all too often that people might fill out organizers incorrectly and it just creates confusion. But 10 to 15% will, let's say, write numbers in their organizer. The rest don't, but they do use the organizer. Even if they don't fill it out, there is one purpose that they serve well, which is people flip through the 40 pages and look at all the items they had last year and use that to go to their tax file, to their shoebox, and pull out those same documents for this year. That's really the most used purpose for an organizer. So we want to retain that because it's what people actually use, but we don't need the 40 pages. Let's just give a document request list, as we call it, just a simple list of documents based on your last year return. So it should be customized for that client based on their pro forma data. And just give them the list of documents and let them give it back to you, through a number of easy ways that we'll talk about. But let's just, give them a simple document request list, not 40 pages, and think they're going to fill something out. And an interesting point about, let's say, online organizers, where they're kind of like paper organizers, and they have input screens where people can actually like type in their interest and their dividends or the wages, etc. I've had many firms tell me that clients ask the firm, are you going to give me a discount because I'm basically entering all the data for you? And it feels like do-it-yourself software. So think about that the current online organizers and paper, online organizers, the client experience is so bad that clients sometimes expect the CPA firm to effectively pay them in order to do it, through a discount. So, simple document request that's easy to respond to. Now, talking about easy to respond to, how could it be any easier than not having to do anything? So one of the features in TaxCaddy is to be able to automatically retrieve the documents from bank and brokerage firms, from payroll companies like ADP and Paychex, from mortgage companies, where the client can say, I have a Bank of America account, here are my login credentials, and TaxCaddy will actually check once a day to see if there's any new tax documents. Let's say when I log into Bank of America, I have a mortgage account that I get a 1098 from, and I have 2 bank accounts that I get 1099s from. So TaxCaddy will actually download all three of those documents, the 1098s and the 1099s. We'll download those the day they become available, put them into TaxCaddy, provide the taxpayer a notification. So they just get a notification on their mobile phone that, hey, your Bank of America 1099 showed up today. It's in your TaxCaddy account. And they say, okay, and they put their phone back in their pocket. There's nothing left for them to do. They don't need to go and download those documents from Bank of America and then upload them to your portal. Or, since many people don't do that, what they might do is get those documents in the mail and forward them to you, in the shoebox. They don't need to do that either now. So that is a super easy way, right, for them to get documents. For the CPA, that means that you get documents earlier, which means you might be able to start the return earlier, which will help with workload compression. It also means that the images you're getting are perfect. They were never printed and scanned. They're perfect images because they're native PDFs that were never printed and scanned. And that means that if you use an OCR program like 1040 Scan, the results are going to be excellent because the image quality is excellent. So, a perfect example of really a win-win for everybody. And it must be mobile. So having it only available in a browser is hugely going to hurt any adoption rate. How much mobile banking do you do in your browser versus your phone? I mean, if in order to do a mobile deposit, you had to have a scanner and scan it and go to your browser and then browse and upload it, a fraction of the people that do mobile deposits would do them now. So, it has to be mobile for many reasons. People don't have scanners or don't use scanners, that are connected to their computer too much because it's time consuming. So you need to be able to take pictures of the documents with your phone. And when I say that, CPAs are already getting pictures, right? Taxpayers are taking pictures with their mobile phone and sending it to their CPA. CPA gets not a scanned document. They're getting a 9 megabyte JPEG that's the picture of a desk with a document on it. And they have to figure out what to do with that, like convert it to PDF, compress it so it's not 9 megabytes. It might be hard to read. It can't be processed with OCR because it's not just a document. It's a picture of a desk with a document on it. So taxpayers are already showing that they want to use mobile, but when they do it without the proper tools, it actually ends up being bad for the CPA. Now, banks don't allow you to just send a picture of a check and then if they can't read it, they have someone key punch it. They give you in their mobile app a camera that ensures that, it allows the bank customer to do what they want to do, which is to take the picture, but it'll make sure the bank gets what they need too. So any mobile app that you use with your client needs to have a special camera capability so that taxpayers can take a picture of their source documents through the app, through the mobile app, and you get that as like a cropped PDF, just like if you were to drop it in a scanner, a PDF that you can put through OCR, that you can put into your work papers, and so that exists. TaxCaddy has that, so that taxpayers can take pictures with their phone, but you can get what effectively looks like a scanned PDF, just about as if you were to drop it in your scanner in your office.